The Orange Bowl.
The Orange Bowl.
It began as an idea.
To help a struggling South Florida fishing village.
In the midst of a depression.
Boost their economy.
As our country grew,
So too
did the game.
While a nation watched,
Coaches became legendary.
Jimmy Johnson.
Play it like champions, play it with poise. You get down, you get back up.
Players became celebrated.
Rodgers, dipsy-doodle, faking and scheme is too much for Alabama.
For 75 years.
and for 75 years,
It's been unpredictable.
the Fumble-Rooski.
It's been presidential. It's been extravagant.
you got to stick around for the halftime show.
And tonight,
Virginia Tech.
The University of Cincinnati.
We become.
we become
We become.
Part of that lore.
Part of that pageantry.
Part of that tradition.
for the 75th time.
It's the Orange Bowl.
And it's next.
And it's next
On Fox Sports.
It is an absolutely gorgeous weather night in Miami, and we welcome you to Dolphin Stadium as we begin our BCS Bowl Bash on Fox. And we do it with a celebration, the 75th anniversary of the FedEx Orange Bowl. For Cincinnati, their inaugural trip to a BCS game as champions of the Big East Conference, and for Virginia Tech, champions of the ACC, they're in a BCS game for the 4th time. Happy New Year, everybody. Alongside the former Tennessee Volunteer Charles Davis, I'm Tom Brenneman. Great to have you with us. When you think about Cincinnati athletics, Charles, the first thing that comes to mind, perhaps, basketball. Names like Oscar Robertson and Jack Twyman and Bob Huggins. But all of a sudden, the talk in the Queen City these days is about Bearcat football. How in the world have they gotten here?
Well, first of all, Tom, they moved from Conference USA to the Big East. That was the start. But the finish was the hiring of Brian Kelly as their head football coach, the face of this program, a terrific salesman and an even better coach. And this year, he brought an exciting offense that people like to watch and is led by Tony Pike. This is a guy who emerged from a 5-quarterback scramble to become the leader of the team, second team All-Big East. And his rise up the depth chart parallels the rise of Cincinnati football.
About 20 years ago, it was Virginia Tech that was bursting onto the scene in college football, like Cincinnati tonight. But here they are in their 16th consecutive bowl game under head coach Frank Beamer.
Beamer ball. That's the way that they do it. Great special teams, terrific defense, led by Macho Harris. Victor Macho Harris, their cornerback. We'll see him there. We'll see him at wide receiver. We'll see him returning kicks. The key to this game, can Tony Pike's offense take care of Macho Harris's defense?
We'll be keeping an eye on it all night long. The University of Cincinnati Bearcats making their first ever appearance in a BCS game as champions of the Big East Conference. 22 wins in his first 2 years for Brian Kelly. What a remarkable imprint he has made on this university. And we welcome the Cincinnati Bearcats to the FedEx Orange Bowl. Quite a season indeed, says Connor Barwin, not only for the Bearcats, but for himself individually. 53 weeks ago, he was the tight end for Cincinnati. Brian Kelly said, let's move to defense. He led the Big East in sacks. Let's check in with Chris Myers on the field.
Tom, it is electric down here. Coach, we just saw you run out with your players. When you looked in their eyes in the tunnel, what did you see?
Wow, they're excited, and I just wanted to get the heck out of the way and not get run over. But it's a great atmosphere here at the Orange Bowl. Our kids excited. They'll play well.
The greatest stage in Cincinnati football, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is what you work hard for. That's why you practice and have double sessions, so our kids will be ready to play.
All right, good luck. Happy New Year, Coach.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, Tommy, one man can make a difference. If he gets it done tonight, they might change Mount Adams to Mount Kelly in Ohio.
You're not lying about that, Chris. And now the ACC champion Virginia Tech Hokies take the field. A 9-4 record, back-to-back appearances in the FedEx Orange Bowl. They lost a tight one to Kansas here last year. Their sophomore quarterback will keep an eye on Tyrod Taylor. 12-2 as a starter, an outstanding runner. Can he throw it well enough to beat Cincinnati tonight? Macho Harris remembers last year's loss, and he's planning on getting that turned around here tonight. All righty, Mr. Davis, let's get right to it. Our Ford keys to the game.
Cincinnati wants to establish enough of a run game to take the pressure off of their quarterback, and they want to force Tyrod Taylor to throw the ball, not move it downfield with his legs. Virginia Tech, they want to control the clock with their running game, and they want to use their elaborate coverage schemes and zone blitz pressures to get in the face of quarterback Tony Pike of Cincinnati.
Frank Beamer, a Virginia Tech alum in his 22nd season, went 24-40 his first 6 years. Since then, 152 wins, 3 ACC titles, 3 Big East Conference championships. Brian Kelly, through an 18-year head coaching career, has established a reputation for building winning programs. Won a pair of Division II national championships at Grand Valley State, a MAC championship at Central Michigan, and now a Big East championship in his 2nd year at Cincinnati.
And one thing to keep an eye on, Tom, as they kick it off, is that Cincinnati is very good on special teams.
Marty Gilliard, one of the best return men in the country. And he's out to the 28-yard line. The quarterback is 4th-year junior and Cincinnati native Tony Pike. 2nd team All-Big East quarterback, no small feat, considering he was 5th on UC's depth chart entering the fall. Gilliard, Goodman, and Barnett, outstanding receivers. And up front, what a remarkable job this group has done, led by the senior, starting in his 39th consecutive game, Trevor Canfield. They hand it off to Goebel on 1st down, and he spins his way out to the 33-yard line. Virginia Tech, as Charles mentioned, the 7th-ranked unit in the NCAA. They're without 2 starters tonight. Jason Worlds, who leads them in sacks, will be replaced by Nikos Brown. And Barkwell Rivers at linebacker replaces the injured Brett Warren. Victor Macho Harris, the man to watch all night long. He's an All-American. Tony Pike's first throw is on the money. And that is Dominic Goodman, who already has set Cincinnati's all-time receiving touchdowns record. He's now 6 receptions and 20 yards away from setting UC records in those categories. UC very much a hurry-up offense. They will not huddle. Pike in trouble. Marty Gilliard wide open, and he's down to the 17.
Coming into the game, Tom, Tyrod Taylor was thought to be the move quarterback for Virginia Tech, but Tony Pike is 6'6", can move out of the pocket well too, and that's why that big play occurred for Cincinnati.
Gain of 37, and they prod again with a running game, and again it is Goebel. It's easy to overlook Cincinnati's run game, but the duo of John Goebel and Jacob Ramsey have combined for more than 1,200 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. And we saw a lot more of the electrifying true freshman Isaiah Peed, their final game in Hawaii.
And you've mentioned the word probe. Cincinnati's doing that with formations early against Virginia Tech. They have not used the same formation twice in this drive thus far.
2nd down, wide receiver coming back and right through the hands of Gilliard.
When you look at Cincinnati's offense, the first thing that comes to mind is the word spread. We hear that about just about every offense in the country now, or so it feels. But when you talk with Brian Kelly, he says we're not just a spread team, we're multiple. We want everyone to defend the length of the field and the width of the field, but we can do a lot of things in our offense.
Play clock down to 5. Empty backfield, and Pike rolls out to the left, lofts it to the corner of the end zone. And is it a touchdown? Touchdown! Marty Gilliard, first team All-Big East wide receiver, first team All-Big East kick returner. What an impressive drive for Cincinnati.
The formation put Virginia Tech into man-to-man coverage, into free safety. Cam Chancellor trying to cover Marty Gilliard. unable to do so as Gilliard comes down with the catch. Now they have to determine, was he in bounds? Did he get a foot down with the catch? Ball's in his hands, dragging a foot down. That's going to be 6 points for Cincinnati.
Wow, what a throw and what a catch.
Terrific body control by the All-Big East wide receiver, Marty Gilliard. And as you mentioned, Tom, what a great throw by Tony Pike. The only person who was going to catch that one, Marty Gilliard. That's an excellent throw. Take another look. There's the ball in Gilliard's hands. Foot down, clearly in bounds into the painted area. And he has to maintain it all the way through the catch, meaning when he hits the ground, he must hold the ball.
The call on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
I thought Cincinnati hadn't been on this stage before, Tom. They're acting like this is just a normal everyday game, aren't they?
Well, Brian Kelly made the comment yesterday after their final tune-up. Winning is in our DNA. That's what we're all about. And the point after is good by Jake Rogers. Gilliard among the nation's great receivers. And this is a great catch for an early score. An early celebration on the Cincinnati sideline, scoring on its opening possession. Now Jake Rogers to kick it away, waiting back for Virginia Tech, number 1. Victor Macho Harris along with Dyrell Roberts, and this is Macho Harris. And he's out to the 23-yard line. Offensively for the Hokies, they're led by 19-year-old sophomore quarterback Tyrod Taylor. He's only thrown for 2 touchdowns. He's been picked off 6 times, but he can run almost 700 yards rushing. Darren Evans setting a Virginia Tech freshman record with 1,112 rushing yards. A trio of freshman wide receivers, and up front, Sergio Render replaces the ineligible Nick Marshman at left guard. At right guard, James Brooks, who played all of 4 snaps the entire season, makes his first collegiate start tonight. And the end around to Dyrell Roberts, and a big gainer all the way to midfield. Only the 4th rush all year long for Roberts, and this one good for 26.
Watch here, the 2 tight ends, they're going to trade over to the other side of the line of scrimmage, and look at the block. Now Dyrell Roberts cutting inside. Number 19, Danny Cole, wide receiver, blocking downfield. Excellent job.
This is Darren Evans, and he is dropped at the line of scrimmage, maybe picked up 2. Evans, a redshirt freshman out of Warren Central High School in Indianapolis. 2 years ago, was named by EA Sports as the National High School Player of the Year when he scored 61 touchdowns his senior year.
Not bad. 3 straight years of over 2,000 yards rushing in high school. But how about the opening play from Virginia Tech? Broke tendency, Tom. 2 tight ends, trade, usually run to that side with the tailback.
First throw for Taylor, good protection, wide open, Danny Cole, all the way to the 13.
Brian Steinspring, the offensive coordinator, says let's test the All-American corner, Mike Mickens, number 21. He missed the last 3 games of the season due to a knee injury and had surgery. So they threw Danny Cole at him right away, and Cole won big on the first throw of the game from Tyrod Taylor.
We will certainly keep an eye on Mickens all night long. Did not appear to be 100% when we were at the Cincinnati practice 2 days ago. They pitch it to Evans, and he is met behind the line of scrimmage, and coming down to make the tackle, the middle linebacker, the senior out of Pickerington, Ohio, is Ryan Manilak. We talked about Virginia Tech's defense. Don't overlook Cincinnati's defense, loaded with talent. On the ends, Lamont Nelms and Connor Barwin. Barwin led the Big East with 11 sacks. Terrell Byrd, an All-American. 3 seniors at linebacker. They start 10 seniors on defense overall. Mickens and D'Angelo Smith, outstanding corners.
Here's the situation Cincinnati's looking for on defense. 2nd and long. Trying to get pressure on Taylor and not letting him run with the football out of the pocket.
Quarterback draw. And able to carry inside the 20 as Taylor down to the 16. It'll bring up 3rd down and long for the Hokies. And if there's one thing we figured, and you never know, we don't have a crystal ball, that when Virginia Tech got their chances, if they got their chances inside the red zone, they need touchdowns against Cincinnati.
Yeah. Field goals not going to match as we suspect going into the game. We saw Cincinnati already roll for 7. Crucial here. We already saw the quarterback draw out of Tyrod Taylor. Do they throw the football now and try and get it downfield? And what does Cincinnati dial up on defense?
3rd down and 14. Taylor flushed out of the pocket, has some room in front of him, but he will be denied the 1st down as he is stopped by Manilak at the 10-yard line.
You have to figure Cincinnati's very happy right now. They gave up a big pass play, Tom, that sets up Virginia Tech with momentum. And Cincinnati now is forcing a field goal attempt. Tyrod Taylor has broken out of the pocket twice and run the football, but he hasn't really hurt them. This is good for Cincinnati early.
Dustin Tees has been very ill the last 2 days. Did not kick well in warm-ups, and he shanks it to the right. Keys has felt terribly. In fact, he did not go to the team hotel. He was so sick last night. And Frank Beamer's sick right now. Let's check in downstairs with Chris Myers.
Tom, checking on the health of Mike Mickens. He told me in pregame warmups he was wearing a light knee brace as a senior, anxious to make it back, but he slipped on that long pass play, and he said he didn't think he was 100%, but only playing in the game would tell. So we'll watch him throughout the rest of this game.
2nd down and 12. Pike to Gilliard. Across the 40 and all the way down to the 33.
How about the protection from the offensive line that allows the deep routes? These guys right up front. That allows Gilliard to get into the secondary, and what a great looking throw. Terrific anticipation right in the hole. Tony Pike pops it in there, and Gilliard grabs it on the run and gains additional yardage.
Well, I tell you, Tony Pike at 6 feet 6 inches tall, he is one impressive quarterback. The more you watch him, the more you like him. He's not necessarily all that strong. I mean, not a big, wide frame. He's certainly lean. But, man, he can stand right in there in the pocket and take a lick.
And you hear the word trust used a lot. Trust your teammates. Trust that they'll be where they're supposed to be. That was a perfect example because Tony Pike threw that on anticipation that Marty Gilliard would be right where he was supposed to be, and it worked out perfectly. Didn't have to see him open, knew that he would be there.
3rd and a yard, and they give it to Barnett trying to turn the corner, and he will be denied. Stephon Virgil was out there.
Big Coach Kelly really wanted to fool Virginia Tech. They're not a big thumper team up front, Cincinnati. In other words, they don't really move people all that well coming off the line of scrimmage. This is not Mark D'Antonio's Cincinnati Bearcats who wanted to maul you. He wants his linemen to be more dancers. Tough play on that one. Now they have to go for a field goal.
Brian Kelly, none too happy. So now a 44-yard field goal try for Jake Rogers. He has plenty of leg. He's hit 3 times from beyond 50. But this one may have been blocked. Tough to tell whether somebody got a hand on it or whether or not that was just a poor kick from Rogers.
Sometimes when you have a long distance field goal, you try to drive it low and you don't get enough elevation.
Well, in the 1930s, Miami, a small isolated fishing village, but Ernie Seiler had big plans. In 1933, founded the Palm Gridiron Festival, pitting the University of Miami against Manhattan College, and 2 years later gave rise to the first Orange Bowl in 1935. Miami played Bucknell. It's been a great South Florida tradition ever since, and tonight the 75th. Taylor on 1st down to Cole, and that's a 1st down out to the 39-yard line. That's a well-thrown ball by Taylor.
Really well thrown, and an excellent route by Danny Cole, the redshirt freshman receiver who's turned into the most dependable receiver for Virginia Tech. Really broke it off sharply and came back to the football, and Taylor put it in the perfect spot.
First down, the give is to Evans, his first big gainer of the night. And he has a first down out to midfield.
Nice 11-yard gain for Virginia Tech, and you know who's gaining in confidence? Right here in the middle. The right guard, James Brooks. Look at the block as he moves the former All-American Terrell Byrd right out of the way and gave Devin Evans an excellent crease to run through.
Virginia Tech on the move, and now the flea flicker. And Taylor had it slip out of his hands, and this is a jump ball. Contact, but through the hands of the Cincinnati defender, D'Angelo Smith.
It's great coverage by D'Angelo Smith, number 6, but look at the pressure. Torrey Cornett, number 49, in the face of Tyrod Taylor. And D'Angelo Smith all over the play. The only thing he doesn't do, come down with the football. But never was fooled on the play. Never had to catch up. He was with Danny Cole the entire route.
D'Angelo Smith often overlooked because of the All-American Mickens on the other side. But Smith, a two-time All-Big East player, led the nation with 8 interceptions a season ago. Shovel pass to Evans. And he picks up close to 5, so an important third down coming up for Virginia Tech. Under 2 minutes here in the opening quarter of the FedEx Orange Bowl. Cincinnati scored on its opening drive, going 72 yards on 6 plays. A touchdown pass from Pike to Gilliard. Tech went down the field covering 67 yards, but missed a field goal try.
3rd and 5. Let's see if Cincinnati decides to try and do a little man coverage and possibly spy on Tyrod Taylor, trying to keep him in the pocket.
Taylor looking for somewhere to go. It looked like he crossed the line of scrimmage, and that ball is batted down. But able to haul it in for a gain of 14, and that is a first down.
How about the maturation of Tyrod Taylor? Great job by him, because he approached the line of scrimmage looking as if he would take off and run as he normally does. Instead, kept his eyes downfield, found an open receiver, and delivered a strike to Jarrett Boykin.
First and 15, and Oglesby inside the 25. So he got about 13 of the 15 on that first down carry as we wind down the final seconds of the opening quarter in Miami.
Had to love the vision of Josh Oglesby on the cutback. Play was designed to cut back that way with all flow going left. Oglesby reading the cutback, the blocking scheme, and breaking it back right for a 13-yard gain.
So that will be the final play of the opening quarter. Cincinnati 7, Virginia Tech nothing at the FedEx Orange Bowl. We're back after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Welcome back to the FedEx Orange Bowl. We're set to begin the second quarter, and Virginia Tech trying to get on the board, trailing 7-0 with a 2nd down and 2 at the Cincinnati 24-yard line.
They're doing a good job of using Cincinnati's rallying to the football against them. A lot of misdirection.
They hand it to Evans, and a nice play made by Mike Mickens, coming to trip him up. Very close to first down yardage. Some of the numbers from the first half. Certainly one thing that stands out is how well Taylor has thrown the football through the first quarter.
That's the one that jumps at me, Tom. 80 pass yards for Virginia Tech.
Well, we did not see the flag on the field.
But Tech's going to get a first down on the play. Offsides against Cincinnati. I'm guessing someone lined up in the neutral zone, trying to get an advantage over the football.
I think Brian Kelly was saying the same thing you said, Tom. Who threw the flag?
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Taylor very accurate early throwing the football.
First down, Virginia Tech at the Cincinnati 18. Taylor to throw it again. And the catch is made by Roberts. Step for step with him was Mickens. That'll be a gain of maybe 2 on first down.
Two things leaping out at me early in this game, Tom. Brian Steinspring, the offensive coordinator of Virginia Tech, catches a lot of grief. The offense for the last 3 years, number 99, number 100, number 107 in the NCAA. They don't move the ball that well. But tonight what he's doing is he's giving Tyrod Taylor easier throws, throwing early in the count. 1st and 10, run down situations, throwing the ball. The second thing, misdirection. A lot of that using Cincinnati's speed against them as they rally to the football.
Second down and 8. And losing the handle is Taylor, and he's able to cover it back up. Well, we talked to Frank Beamer about his young sophomore, Tyrod Taylor.
Anytime you're over there on the sideline and he's in the game, you got the chance for that next play to be a big play. One way or the other, it's got a chance to be a big play. And you know, that's what he gives you as a football team. You always got hope. You're always waiting for that next play.
Well, the next play is 3rd down and 9.
Boykin's been the go-to early in the game along with Cole.
Taylor steps out of the pocket and tiptoes his way inside the 10, inside the 5. Touchdown! That's where Taylor was so effective against Boston College in the ACC championship game when he was the MVP.
And it doesn't matter what the scouting report is. Everyone knows this is where Tyrod Taylor is his most dangerous, but he makes people miss. Ryan Manilak misses. Corey Smith misses. And Taylor dances into the end zone. Sometimes just great athletic plays beat all defenses. Even posed going in.
Now Dustin Keys for the point after to try and tie it up, and that he does. So the second impressive drive of the night for Tyrod Taylor in West Virginia. The first time they came up empty. This time, Taylor, the rushing touchdown. Take a look at tonight's Dodge game summary.
Tony Pike very accurate early. Marty Gilliard getting loose in the secondary against Virginia Tech. But Tyrod Taylor has been sensational early going. Running the ball, of course, we knew that. But to me, it's been his accuracy throwing the football that's been special this evening for Virginia Tech.
Just goes to show you, Charles, you can sit around and you can watch film and you can watch every game a team plays the entire year. And you come in thinking the only way they're going to score is if Taylor can run the ball. And here, at least so far, it has been his arm along with the feet.
The arm has helped loosen things up, actually, because now they know every time he flushes from the pocket is not necessarily because he's going to take off downfield. He's pulled up now and thrown the ball, which makes you hesitate from the secondary coming up to guard against him.
And the one thing Taylor has proven is he is a winner. And at the end of the day, that is all that matters. Do you win games? He's made 14 starts. They've only lost twice.
Yeah, he's 12-2. And Sean Glennon, his backup, is 18-8. They win at Virginia Tech.
Marty Gilliard, number 1, returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns this season. And he takes this one from the 3. And all the way out to the 30-yard line. Is the ball loose? Looks like a scramble for the football. Virginia Tech saying it has it. Cincinnati saying it has it. And it is Cincinnati football.
Ball does obviously come free. Nice tackle on the kickoff, but it looked like Gilliard actually got the ball back. Nice striking hit there by number 23, Matt Reedy, a backup rover back for Virginia Tech.
Pike on first down finds Gilliard, and his knee touched the ground. Gilliard closing in on 100 receiving yards. He had 6 such games this season. So this Virginia Tech defense, we mentioned, ranked 7th in the country overall in total defense, despite the fact that last year they had 8 players on the defensive side that were either drafted or signed as free agents at the next level.
Every year they keep cranking out excellent defenses.
Goodman, a first down catch out to the 42-yard line, steps out of bounds, stopping the clock at 4:13. Cincinnati's first 6 plays, they went for 72 yards and a touchdown. In 16 plays since, 73 total yards.
Tells you the adjustments made by Virginia Tech, as we see Brian Kelly, the head coach, who is the play caller for Cincinnati, trying to match wits with the defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, Bud Foster. And even in a no huddle, Virginia Tech, because they don't change much personnel, they feel comfortable lining up against Cincinnati, getting their calls from the sideline.
Pike looking around, rolls left, wide open is Gilliard. Up over 100 yards tonight, and down to the 27 is Marty Gilliard. Pike has remarkable feet in that pocket for such a big, tall, lanky man.
You're not supposed to see this out of a 6'6" quarterback. He's supposed to be strictly a pocket passer. But what a great job. And then the defender, Stephon Virgil, number 22, falls down in the secondary, creating a big opening for Gilliard, and Pike finds it. Forget arms in the man, Tom. We're seeing legs in the man tonight from both quarterbacks.
Well, Gilliard up to 128 receiving yards on his 5 catches. First down, Pike, good protection this time. It looked like Goodman lost his footing coming out of his break, and thus could not make the catch.
One of the things we're seeing also from Bud Foster's defense is how he's using Macho Harris. He's not just a cover guy. We've seen him come on the corner pressure numerous times already this evening, and he did on the last play. Anytime he's into the boundary, which is his assignment, boundary corner, there's a possibility of him coming after the quarterback.
They dump it off to Goebel. He has blockers in front, and he's inside the 10 and barrels his way down to the 7-yard line. Goebel, their 2nd leading rusher, their 4th leading receiver.
He's a former wide receiver. When Brian Kelly first got to Cincinnati, he moved him out there, so he is very comfortable using him in the pass game. A speed screen where they just swing it out and the linemen just move out that way to form the wall in front of him. Very successful for Cincinnati.
Bearcats in front of their faithful, trying to take their 2nd lead of the night. Pike looking to the end zone and threw it away. It looked like Gilliard lost his footing along the back edge of the end zone, but excellent coverage by Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Stephon Virgil, number 22, does not get the publicity that Macho Harris gets, but he plays the field corner and probably gets picked on a lot more than Macho Harris. Most people want to leave Macho alone. Stephon Virgil, a terrific season, 5 interceptions himself, and we just saw evidence of his excellent coverage ability.
2nd and goal. Pike escapes trouble. Intercepted in the end zone by Virgil. A mistake by Tony Pike.
A little bit late on the delivery, because if you look off to the left side, watch, and on the back side here, receiver's open right there, but the ball's late and it hangs in the air. That allows Stephon Virgil to come from a long way. And look at the offense. You just picked us up, fellas. Thank you.
And now with 2:23 to play until halftime, the Hokies have 2 timeouts remaining. A 7-7 game at the FedEx Orange Bowl. Set up the screen. And what a play, what a read by the linebacker Torrey Cornett. Started his collegiate career as a basketball player at Prairie View A&M. Came to Cincinnati. Played special teams for 3 years. In his first year as a starter, been making plays all season.
And have you noticed how Cincinnati's defense has also settled in a little bit? You remember earlier they were reacting to a lot of run fakes and misdirections. You have to run those things early because once a team settles in and gets a little bit tired, they don't buy the fakes as much as they do in the beginning of the ball game when they're super hyped up.
Inside handoff to Evans. He bounces off a couple of tackles and tiptoes out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 3rd and 5 with 1:39 to play until halftime. The big tight end Greg Boone lumbering and carrying tacklers along with him. That's all man, Greg Boone.
When I see Greg Boone play, when he's on the field, the starting tight end for Virginia Tech, it doesn't matter. They're already in a 2 tight end formation. He's that big. This is a guy who was a former quarterback in high school, and that was just a simple route turned into a big play.
Boone, the tight end, wrapped up by Manilak, and it takes 4 Bearcats to get him down.
Now, if that's a first down, they get the automatic stop to move the chains.
Let's check in with Chris Myers.
Tom, this isn't the first time these 2 teams met in a bowl game. Let's go back historically. 1947, the Sun Bowl, El Paso, Texas. And you see what the weather was like. The quarterback, Don McMillan, 61 years later, still sporting his support for Cincinnati football and back home watching this game, rooting for Tony Pike and the Cincinnati Bearcats. Cincinnati, of course, won this game. And now Virginia Tech and Cincinnati doing battle here at the 75th anniversary of the FedEx Orange Bowl.
Of course, the 2 teams have met 8 times overall, an even split 4 on each side. Virginia Tech won the last meeting 2 years ago.
And you know, the radio announcer for Cincinnati, Jim Kelly Jr., his father, Jim Kelly Sr., a longtime Cincinnati Bearcat administrator, coach.
Good man.
Played in that football game. But got to play 1 play in the Sun Bowl. I know he's watching back home in Cincinnati.
Virginia Tech's going to try and run 1 more play here. They spent a timeout, so they have 1 remaining.
So you cannot take a sack here and take yourself into a tougher field goal position. But you've also got to get rid of the football to preserve time to kick the field goal.
Taylor on a keeper. Picks up some nice additional yardage, dives forward, and they call timeout with 3 seconds left. So this will set up a 44-yard field goal try for Keys. Keys from 40 to 50, 7 attempts, hit on 4 of 7. Now, we brought up earlier, he has been very, very ill the last 2 days. He missed his first field goal try tonight to the right. He kicked very, very poorly in the pregame warm-up.
And the 50-yarder you mentioned occurred in the ACC title game against Boston College this season. And this is the hash mark most right-footed kickers like better, because you get a chance to draw the ball similar to a golf swing. Bring it back from right to left. They like that better than pushing it from left to right.
43 yards away, and it is good. On the final play of the opening half, Virginia Tech takes its first lead. Beamer ball has been all about defense through the years. And after getting sliced and diced on Cincinnati's opening drive, they have shut the Bearcats down and lead 10-7 at halftime. Well, back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Tom Brenneman. 10-7 Virginia Tech at halftime. We wondered coming in if Virginia Tech could stop Cincinnati offensively. The Bearcats went nearly 80 yards on their first drive. Since then, nothing.
Yeah, they've really shut them down in terms of obviously keeping them out of the end zone. A late interception by Stephon Virgil. Terrific job by Bud Foster. But the story of the first half to me, Tyrod Taylor, the quarterback for Virginia Tech, and what he's done. We knew his legs would be valuable. He's run for a touchdown. But his arm, terrific in the first half. Save for the interception he threw into double coverage. He's 11 of 17 throwing the ball for 125 yards. That's loosening up the Cincinnati defense. But Cincinnati's defense has to get Virginia Tech off the field on third down. They've been good at that all year long, Tom. The last 5 games just giving up 23% in terms of that. In this first half, Virginia Tech's 5 of 9. And that's due in part, large part, to Tyrod Taylor and his legs and his arm.
All right, halftime, let's start with Frank Beamer. What's he say to his team?
But what he's saying to his team is, we're right where we want to be.
Right.
We're exactly where we want to be. We're used to this. All year long, Virginia Tech has played the closest games in the country. They've had 5 games decided by 7 points or less. They're comfortable with that. If you're Brian Kelly, settle down, guys. 30 minutes left. Let's not force it. But they do need to increase their output in the run game to open up the passing game.
Let's check in downstairs with Chris Myers.
Tom, Charles, a very calm Frank Beamer said he likes the containment his defense is getting on Tony Pike of the Cincinnati offense. He wants more of that. He said he's got to mix it up. Tyrod Taylor's throwing the ball well, but they want to run more in the second half. They've been reminding him about throwing it more of a technique, keeping his arm level high so he can deliver the ball high. On the other side, Brian Kelly was very disturbed after the initial offensive series because he said his team did not adjust well offensively to more pressure, and he plans to use a lot more play action in the second half. And the wind is a definite factor, and he said the quarterbacks have to adjust to the play. Going towards the east end zone. That's where both touchdowns were scored. We have not seen field goals made in that area, and that will benefit Cincinnati in the fourth quarter. The wind is a factor, according to both coaches.
Great stuff from Mr. Sunshine himself, Mr. Chris Myers. He grew up in this area in nearby Hollywood, Florida, and now, of course, he's in Hollywood, California.
He knows how to do it from coast to coast, but it's interesting what he said as we look at the stats from the first half. Time of possession, exactly what Virginia Tech wants. Usually they get it by running the football aggressively. Tonight they've gotten it through the pass also and maintained possession, but they average nearly 32 minutes per game in time of possession. That's how they like to play. But it's interesting, Chris said, the wind affecting the teams. I talked with Tony Pike in pregame, and he said, hey, we practiced with it. I think we'll be okay. Obviously, a little bit more than he bargained for.
So Jake Rogers puts a foot on it. Then Victor Harris bobbles the ball, picks it up at the 2, and slips and falls down to the 13-yard line. In the opening quarter, on its opening drive of the game, Tony Pike, a great throw and a great catch by Marty Gilliard, making it 7-0 Cincinnati. And then Taylor scrambling away from trouble, evading tacklers to tie it at 7 on the 17-yard touchdown run. And then after an interception, Virginia Tech got down the field in time to kick a field goal from 43 yards away, and a 10-7 lead as we're underway in the third quarter. Neither team has run it well. And they'll start off with Darren Evans trying to change at a very quiet half for Evans outside of the 32-yard run. 11 carries, 54 yards on the night.
What Virginia Tech has to enjoy, obviously, besides a 3-point lead, is that they got the 3-point lead without getting things established that they're used to. Just as you mentioned, they didn't even get Darren Evans really going in the first half. So obviously, Frank Beamer has to be excited about what he has in front of him. Hey, if we can get him going, and the way we played in the first half and hung in there, he definitely likes his chances.
Option, they pitch it to Oglesby, and coming up to make the stop on a great play made by Corey Smith.
Terrific play by Smith. He'll be the linebacker on the left side, reading the play, shooting the gap, and taking out Oglesby on the option. Terrific job, not fooled by the fake. Carried out his assignment and made a big play.
Corey Smith, when he made his official visit to Cincinnati, drove 20 hours on a bus from Salem, New Jersey He decided to go to Cincinnati, told his family one day we will win the Big East championship, and here he is 4 years later on the BCS stage. Third down. Taylor being chased by Bird, slips that tackle, and the ball is loose. Underwood had it, lost it, now a scramble for the football. It looked like Underwood was worrying about picking it up and running just rather than falling on the ball. And we'll see whether or not that cost his team field position. And it is Virginia Tech ball. That's a mistake by Brandon Underwood.
Because not only do they get the first down, Cincinnati loses a great opportunity. Terrell Bird, number 95, misses. And there's the big hit. Looks like Mandalak, number 45, is involved in helping strip the football, as well as Torrey Cornett, number 49. There we go again with the tight end trade with the fullback on the wing.
Cole on the end around with Perez in front of him. And a good pickup on first down. Run out of bounds by Mike Mickens.
Tom, I think we're seeing the most imagination out of the Virginia Tech offense that has been seen in a while. Because what they've done in this month of extra preparation, remember they said it's a business trip this time. They started practice earlier this time. They stayed with the seniors, didn't get any time off. They've added a few wrinkles to their running game. Brian Steinspring all the way to the left. That's him, the offensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, going against tendencies.
Boone now in what they call the wild turkey. And he fakes a handoff, and the big fellow will keep it himself. And he's rumbling inside the 35, down to the 30. With Sergio Render and Ed Wang leading the way.
Everyone's giving Boone the credit, but look at these guys up front and watch the hole they create. Look at that. That's wide open. Gives him a full lane to run through. And once you get 280 pounds going in one direction, a little bit tough to slow down.
You think?
That's when the secondary isn't as eager to come up and lay a pop on someone. And old number 8 has it.
8th play of this drive coming. A drive kept alive by a fumbled football by the quarterback Taylor, where he was well short of first down yardage. The ball came loose, and it looked like Cincinnati had it just gotten on the ball rather than being concerned about picking it up and running the ball the other way. Gave Virginia Tech additional downs, and they're taking advantage.
And the offensive line was part of the story coming into it. You detailed it, Tom. Nick Marshman, academically ineligible. Sergio Render changing positions at the guard. And James Brooks, 4 snaps all year long. This line getting stronger as the game goes on.
And around again to Tyrell Roberts, cuts it to the inside and close to another first down.
Is that Darren Evans, number 32? Normally the good who carries the ball. Watch to the left of your screen, leading Roberts. Watch 32. Excellent block downfield, allowing Roberts more room before Lamont Nelms, number 10, brings him down. To be a complete back, you've got to do it all. Block when you're not carrying the ball, blitz pick up, catch it out of the backfield.
1st and 10 at the Cincinnati 20. Tech trying to add to a 3-point lead. Evans met at the line of scrimmage, and that's a gain of 2.
And what we're seeing out of Tech is the traditional Virginia Tech model is tailback heavy. That's who's going to carry the ball 85% of the time. But tonight, we've already seen Tyrell Roberts twice run the football, a wide receiver. Danny Cole, number 19, gets the ball, runs it. Greg Boone comes from tight end back to the wild turkey. He carries it. Changing up the model of what they've run. Brian Steinspring has really used the last month to be creative.
Quarterback keeper Taylor trying to break it to the outside and nowhere to go. Looking for a flag was Tech over on the sideline, but none forthcoming. This will be a critical 3rd down now with 9:04 to play in the 3rd. Granted, a long way to go, but Virginia Tech thinking about touchdown here and not settling for a field goal try.
Look at the drive, Tom. 11 runs, averaging 5 yards per carry, exactly what you want. Now, the last time they scored, it was a similar situation. 3rd down and long. Taylor's legs flushing from the pocket gets him the touchdown.
And it was from this same distance. 17 yards just thrown away. Lamont Nelms putting a lick on Tyrod Taylor. So a field goal try again for Dustin Keys. 1 of 2 on field goal attempts in the first half, including a 43-yarder to give Virginia Tech the lead on the final play of the second quarter.
It's going to sound strange, but no matter how this turns out, it's really a victory for Cincinnati because of the way Virginia Tech rolled downfield on the drive. Holding them to a field goal attempt is a key for the Bearcats.
35 yards away, and he just snuck it in the left upright. What, maybe by a foot? 13-7, Virginia Tech in front at the FedEx Orange Bowl in Miami. 13-7, Virginia Tech. Hokies looking for their first BCS Bowl win after losing their prior 3, including here in Miami a season ago to Kansas. Cincinnati playing in its first ever BCS game under second-year head coach Brian Kelly as champions of the Big East Conference. Ball blowing off the tee. It's happened a couple of times tonight. There's a lot of wind down there, as Chris talked about earlier, and you referred to as well, Charles, when you were on the field before the game.
In this drive for Cincinnati, I think they need some real positives to happen. You know, this is a team that's used to moving the ball better. You pointed it out earlier, Tom. The first drive rolled right down the field. But since then, bottled up a little bit. They need to get their confidence back up and feel great about their offensive unit.
Of course, they had the scoring try, missed a field goal, had another scoring chance inside the 10-yard line, and Pike threw the interception.
The less success they have, the bolder Virginia Tech gets on defense.
Again, Marty Gilliard returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns this season. And Gilliard, a nice return out to the 37-yard line. But Cam Chancellor, after getting his second interception of the night, limped off the field. And now he is out of the game as Cincinnati gets the football in the first big carry of the game for Jacob Ramsey. That's more than double their run production in 1 carry for the entire night, a gain of 25.
And as Chris Myers detailed, Brian Kelly says that he wants to what? Throw play-action passes. Well, the only way to get a play-action pass going is to start running the football effectively to set it up. And now Cincinnati has even increased the tempo from what they normally run from.
Let's check in downstairs with Chris Myers.
Tom, Cam Chancellor, after that interception, he jammed his left big toe, so they wrapped it, they tested it. Bud Foster, defensive coordinator, came over and said, I'm okay, I can go in. He was planning to go back out, and then there was too much pain, so he came back over, and they gave him a bit of a painkiller. He hopes to get back in the game.
Chris, great work as always. Thank you for that update. Another carry, 3 in a row by Ramsey. And he's a little more than a yard short of the first down. 3rd and 1 for the Bearcats.
And they can really use Cam Chancellor. I mean, it's a guy, 51 tackles on the year. We know he's a hitter, but we also have seen his coverage ability, which was better than what we were led to believe in this game.
Pike will take it himself. Takes a lick, stays on his feet, and picks up the first down to the Virginia Tech 44-yard line. Sturdivant and Grimm converge on the tackle. Cincinnati has had, by and large, next to 0 offense since the opening drive of the game, spanning 76 yards and chewing up less than 2 minutes on their lone score of the night, the touchdown pass from Pike to Gilliard. And you see Tech has dominated this quarter, but it's still just a 6-point game. Goebel in the game. Sturdivant losing his helmet. Well, what a great young man Sturdivant is. I mean, both of these teams, the young men we met, so impressive. Sturdivant, both of his parents are ministers in Norfolk, Virginia. What a delight to have a chance to visit with all of these players. Pike wrapped up by Orion Martin, who's gone from an unknown walk-on from Norfolk State to a starter at defensive end in just over 2 years.
And his brother Cam Martin, number 41, Orion Martin, number 90. Cam Martin was heavily recruited. Orion Martin had to earn his way. Cam Martin could have gone anywhere in the country. And Sturdivant comes out, and Jonas Housewright, number 89, comes into the game.
Well, Sturdivant lost his helmet.
Yeah, and he's lost it a couple of times, so they have to get the strap fixed on it.
Cincinnati 2 of 6, converting on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 8. Here comes a blitz. And Pike just spikes it in the ground. He took a hit from Cody Grimm, who just has a knack for making plays. Is Brian Kelly considering going for it here on 4th down and 8?
I don't see how with the weapon he has in Huber, the punter. He's only down 6. And you notice how he tried to snap his team up a little bit. You mentioned it, Tom, how they increased the tempo in the no huddle. I think that was by design to try and shake the team up a little bit, maybe wake them up, get them going. It worked for a few plays, but ultimately Virginia Tech shut it down. Grimm with the hit on the quarterback, and the rest of the guys snuffing out the screen pass.
Huber will pin Virginia Tech inside the 20. They'll spot it at the 14-yard line. Final seconds of the 3rd quarter. A 3rd quarter dominated by the Hokies. Gilliard, the big receiving numbers. And Tyrod Taylor getting it done on the ground, in the air, 186 yards from scrimmage.
Cincinnati's defense needs to capitalize on field position here and help out their offense by forcing at least a 3-and-out.
They hand it to Evans, and he breaks into the open field and is all the way to the 35. A 21-yard gain for Darren Evans. So a 6-point spread at the end of 3 quarters from the FedEx Orange Bowl. Final quarter set to begin from the FedEx Orange Bowl. Virginia Tech leading Cincinnati 13-7.
Look at this offensive line, this rebuilt, restructured offensive line, winning the battles up front, including time of possession.
And more yardage on the ground as Evans carries into Bearcats territory down to the 45-yard line.
And look at how the 3rd quarter stats illustrate what Virginia Tech was getting done. 101 total yards, 86 on the ground, 11-19 time of possession. But the only note of caution I've got to throw in, Virginia Tech only scored 3 points despite all that dominance. Cincinnati only down 6. And remember, they scored 19 in the 4th quarter to come back and win at Hawaii. Cincinnati has confidence that they can hang in.
Macho Harris has come into the game on offense for the first time. That's him in motion. And it's Boone out of the wild turkey formation, as Frank Beamer likes to call it. And Boone picks up a couple of yards.
You know, Boone wearing that single-digit number 8, it's just not enough number for that big man.
No.
Already said when he's in the game,
he ought to get 3 numbers.
Listen, when he's in the game, they're automatically in 2 tight ends. All right, so when you have that, I mean, when he's in, that's automatic double guy. So that's a heck of a load coming at you. But again, the imagination of Steinspring tonight, the offensive coordinator, showing so many different looks, even out of the formations they've shown during the year.
Trips to the left, and then it's batted in the air by Manilak.
It's a great play by Manilak, Tom, because they had a play on. Tyrell Roberts had put D'Angelo Smith on the ground and had set up the wide receiver screen. If Manilak doesn't bat that out of the air, I think Virginia Tech's got a big play down the sideline.
This becomes a very important play as now we have reached the final quarter. Almost an entire quarter still to go, but all the momentum clearly right now on the Hokies side. Taylor looking around and down. No, he got it away. And it's almost intercepted. Connor Barwin, Lamont Nelms both applying the pressure, and Taylor has not gotten up.
The stellar defensive ends for Cincinnati now coming into play from the right side of your screen, the bottom, number 5, Connor Barwin. First guy there, and he gets some help from his partner from the left side. Lamont Nelms forcing the incompletion, and Virginia Tech will punt it away. It's a nice stand for Cincinnati on defense.
D'Angelo Smith standing back inside his own 10, waiting on the Brett Bowden punt. The Hokies leading by 6 points. Smith, the fair catch, fields it cleanly at the 14-yard line. It has been a struggle for Cincinnati on offense since their first drive of the night. Can Marty Gilliard and company get it together in the final stanza? And we know that Urban Meyer's watching right now. He's a University of Cincinnati graduate. This is Isaiah Peed. And let's check in downstairs with Chris Myers.
Well, we showed you earlier Tony Pike getting an earful from Brian Kelly after the interception. Even the next series, he was chewed out for not making better decisions going against the wind, throwing into the wind where the ball would hang up a little bit. He was reminded prior to this series, the wind is at your back. All scoring has been from field goals and touchdowns in the direction that Cincinnati is headed. His coach said, go for it.
Pike being chased, and was it picked off? It is an interception by Orion Martin. Third interception of the game thrown by Pike, and this is a huge pick.
Virginia Tech under Bud Foster known for their zone blitzing, meaning they rush other people and drop linemen. This is Orion Martin, number 90. Look how he reads it, because he saw it and came back to the football. He was actually standing up and worked his way out to the outside like a linebacker and picked it off.
And now the Hokies in business, trying to make this a 2-possession game. Evans cuts it back to the inside, and not much room there. Nelms the first man to meet him.
And you have to think the Cincinnati defense has had to hang in there for a long time. We've seen the time of possession. This is going to be a tough sequence for them. But Tony Pike on the throwback. Orion Martin with the great read and a tremendous interception. He returned a fumble for a touchdown in the ACC championship game, and celebrated that by getting married a few weeks ago to his fiancee Jennifer. What a happy man he is, and Virginia Tech trying to pay it off with 6.
They hand it again to Evans, trying to bounce it to the outside, and Terrell Byrd able to wrap him up. 3rd down and goal for the Hokies.
Anything less than a touchdown here is a failure for the Virginia Tech team. They've got momentum going. They've been running the football so effectively and pounding Cincinnati in the second half, but they haven't been able to get into the end zone. They have to here in order to really feel good about the latest turnover they forced.
Evans to the outside, touchdown! Now the point after for Dustin Keys. And it's a 13-point lead for Virginia Tech.
This is like their out pitch for a baseball pitcher. Watch here, and the cutback is over here. And look at that. block it to the left side, wall it off, and Virginia Tech gets it done.
Well, in the opening quarter, Tony Pike lights out. Virginia Tech has turned out the lights ever since.
Second half, he's 0 for 3 throwing the football, 2 interceptions.
Of course, their starter 2 seasons ago, in fact for 2 years, was Dustin Grutza, who was a starter at the beginning of this year before breaking his leg the second game of the season at Oklahoma. Very short kickoff, but who wants to field it? It'll be Gilliard, still on his feet, and dropped at the 40-yard line. Now we have almost an entire quarter to play here, so you can't let it get away quite yet. 50th anniversary of the Orange Bowl, pitted Nebraska against Miami in '84. Always remembered for the legendary Fumble-Rooski. 2-point conversion. Miami stopped the Cornhuskers, and the Hurricanes won the game 31-30 to claim their first national championship.
Dean Steinkuhler on the Fumble-Rooski, and Ken Calhoun knocking away the 2-point pass from Turner Gill and preserving the championship for Miami. Remember, if Nebraska kicks the ball, they might have got it. They would have had a tie and might have won a national title.
Goebel cuts it back to the inside on first down, and he'll pick up 8 yards. So it is a 13-point spread, a 2-possession game. Obviously now it is a 2-touchdown game as far as the Bearcats are concerned.
Look at the graphic there. They are a no-huddle team predominantly, so anytime they end up huddling, it's usually a surprise anyway. But still, you've already mentioned, still most of the fourth quarter to play. Plenty of time, no time to panic yet for Cincinnati.
That is good enough for a first down, crossing into Virginia Tech territory at the 49.
One of the things I think that serves Cincinnati well is they hang their hat on, we try to avoid the scoreboard. We just go play, and at the end of 4 quarters, we'll sort it out. What Brian Kelly tells us, we teach these guys to be hunting dogs. Just continue to hunt. We'll continue to coach. You continue to play. Because if they look at the scoreboard, they'd be discouraged right now.
Pike on first down with under 2.5 to play. Throws his 4th interception of the night, and this one's Cody Grimm. And the celebration is on in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Tony Pike flushed out of the pocket again, looking to throw the ball back inside. A very athletic play by Cody Grimm, reading his eyes and dropping inside and picking it off. And Virginia Tech, mission accomplished. We're treating it like a business trip. We're practicing more ahead of time. We're having curfew earlier. The seniors bought in. You know, Virginia Tech tradition was the first 3 days of bowl practice, the seniors didn't have to practice. That was tradition of Virginia Tech. They voted to forego it in order to get ready for this ball game. They were tired of losing big games. Talking about BCS games. They got it done tonight.
They can just run out the clock. The Bearcats out of timeouts. Frank Beamer will get his first win in a BCS game, and this is his 4th try. And with a victory here tonight, I mean, you talk about, I don't know if it's lack of respect, but certainly lack of notoriety. This will make it 5 straight years for Virginia Tech, winning 10 or more games. Only USC and Texas can make that claim in all of college football. And Frank Beamer is about to get a wee bit chilly.
Didn't even flinch. How happy is he? Well, who'd they get? Did they get Coach Beamer? Got him. Looks like another coach caught it. Everyone's happily going to get dunked tonight. There he is. Look at him. Ooh, that feels so good.
Yes, it does.
When you win, you don't feel the cold.
Our game tonight produced by Michael Burks, directed by Rich Russo. Our associate directors, Tom Yohe and Darren Foster. Our broadcast associates, Eric Mandia and Matt Saldana. Our technical producer, Frank Phillips. Senior producer at Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers, Ed Gorn and David Hill. Thank our entire crew who will perhaps enjoy a couple of days off. Of course, they have an NFL playoff game in this venue on Sunday. And then we're right back here a week from tonight for the FedEx BCS National Championship game.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Say that we are looking forward to that. Go ahead, say it.
We are. And they're looking forward to celebrating in Blacksburg and for those in Miami as Virginia Tech, with 4 seconds remaining, that will be the final snap of the night. So the Virginia Tech Hokies, a final count of 20-7. As always, we thank both universities, their sports information directors. Let's send it downstairs to Chris Myers.
Chava with Victor Macho Harris as the celebrating goes on behind us as a senior leading here. Congratulations, finally a bowl win, and it was about the defense. Your strength against Cincinnati's strength, and the defense won out.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, it's a blessing to be in this position. You know, I thank God for this opportunity. And yeah, like you said, it came to the defense. They had a very explosive offense, and we knew we had to step our end up on the defense, and we did a pretty good job.
Frank Bieber talked about being motivated because you guys were underdogs. Can you talk about that and this being to your final game here?
All year we've been the underdogs. All year we had to scratch and claw our way to a victory. You know, hold on. We had to scratch our way up to victory. You know, and you know, it says a lot about our character on the team. You know, and it's a blessing to play with a group of guys like this, man.
All right, you are Macho. Congratulations on the goal line stand. All right, we'll see you. No, you see.
Thank
hi
you.
To your opponents there.
Chris, thank you very much. Victor Harris, thank you very much. The Virginia Tech Hokies win the FedEx Orange Bowl by a final count of 20-7. Much more, including the trophy presentation, still to come.